Hey guys, it's Summer and today I'm going to be telling you about all the books that I think are not worth the hype. In one of my last videos, I think it was my Totally Didn't book tag, there was a question about what's a book that it wasn't worth the hype. And I said in the video I could make a whole video about books that weren't worth the hype, and a few people said that I should make this. So here is that video. Things might get a little bit controversial, but I think it'll be fun. We'll just have some fun with it. Also, I chopped 7 inches of my hair off and I really love it. I've had the same hair for like ever, so it was kind of time for me to have a little bit of a change, so I'm really liking it. Anyway though, the first books I'm going to tell you about that are not worth the hype in my opinion are some John Green books. I'm going to say this though too. The Fault in Our Stars is still to this day one of my absolute favorite books. It's one of the books that got me back into reading when I was in high school. So the 2 books that I read by him that I did not like are these 2, Paper Towns and Looking for Alaska. I liked Paper Towns slightly more than Looking for Alaska. I think I gave Looking for Alaska 2 stars and this one either 2 or 2.5 stars. Probably 2.5. Paper Towns is about a boy named Quentin? Yeah, Quentin. And he has this crush on this girl named Margot that is kind of a neighbor, and I guess they kind of knew each other growing up. Margot is like the unattainable, super cool, mysterious girl. And she's always disappearing and leaving on these adventures. And she leaves clues for people, but they don't actually know to look for the clues. Like, she wants people to come find her on these adventures or something. She's kind of a weird person. But she comes back just whenever she feels like it and has all these crazy stories to tell. So this one night, she shows up at Quentin's bedroom window and is like, hey, I need to borrow your car. And they have this whole entire night full of just crazy shenanigans, and he just like falls even more in love with her. So the next day after this crazy night, she ends up like disappearing for good, pretty much. Like, she's a missing person and nobody really knows where she is. And so Quentin takes it upon himself to look for the clues that she usually leaves for people when she leaves and to go and try to find her. There's some like road trip aspects and stuff like that. Besides the road trip and the beautiful writing, there wasn't a whole lot that I liked about this book. A lot of the characters were not my favorite, especially Margot. She bugged the shit out of me. And just the ending of this book, in case you want to read it, I won't like say anything, but it's just the ending of this book just, it really pissed me off. I was like, I read all of this for that ending kind of a thing. And I just thought that Margot's character in general was just really annoying, that she was like so mysterious and like so unobtainable and so cool. And just, she really just bugged me. Like, Quentin just thought like if he could find her, they would all of a sudden just be like in love, and he was sacrificing all these other things just to go find Margot. Like, it was just kind of weird to me, and it didn't make sense to me. So I don't know, wasn't my favorite. This one was even more of a not favorite though. I heard from so many people, I mean, this is like an award-winning book, like so many people love this book, and I just honestly could not understand. Like, I was reading this and I was like, am I reading a different book than everybody else is? This is about a guy named Pudge who has this obsession with famous last words. Like, if you name one of the presidents that's passed away, he will tell you what their last words were. Like, he just knows people's last words, which is kind of weird. But, you know, it's a John Green book, so there has to be something quirky in it. But it follows him going to a boarding school and meeting a whole, like, group of people that end up kind of becoming friends. And in this group of people, there is, of course, the unobtainable, mysterious, just like, oh my gosh, girl. Her name's Alaska. It says, the gorgeous, clever, funny, sexy, self-destructive, screwed up, and utterly fascinating Alaska Young. But he's just like head over heels in love with Alaska, or really, really likes her at least, and feels like he deserves for her to love him just because he loves her. It also has one of the other things that I don't like in books, where it's a girl has a boyfriend and then a guy is like jealous and trying to like win her affection kind of a thing. I just couldn't understand why Pudge wanted Alaska so much. She just didn't seem like that great of a character or a person to me. The next one might get me into some trouble because it's The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. When I first started watching BookTube, everyone said Mara Dyer was the most crazy story, so mysterious, had a really crazy unreliable narrator, and that it was just so good, and that Noah Shaw was just like the most swoon-worthy guy to ever be in a book. So I was like, well, I need to read this book, obviously. I did listen to this one on audiobook, and I didn't love the narrator. Like, I think the whole premise, if I'm remembering correctly, is that she wakes up in a hospital and she can't remember how she got into the hospital. She just knows that she's the only one out of a group of friends that survived an accident or something like that. Like, I really can't remember too much even about this book. I just remember thinking, like, this whole entire book, you're trying to figure out what happened to Mara and what happened to her friends. From the beginning, I kind of had a really good idea or prediction of what it was, like, what had happened to her friends and stuff and what happened to her. And then I go through the whole rest of the book and I felt like I was just kind of waiting for her character and the other characters to catch up to where I was at, because I was pretty sure I knew what had happened. And then we get to the end and I was right. So I just felt like it wasn't actually that much of a mystery. It was, at least in my opinion, really predictable. I also didn't really like Noah that much, and it just kind of wasn't really a super memorable book for me. I know a ton of people, this is like their favorite book, so I don't want to like bash on it too much or anything. I think if it sounds cool to you, try it, but just don't go into it with such high expectations or like as much hype like as I went into it with, and you might like it a little bit more. But I don't know, that was just a book that the hype was too high for the book for me. This was another book that was super popular when I first started watching BookTube. Tons and tons of hype around it. This is also on a lot of people's favorite books of the year list kind of a thing, but it is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Now, I think this could be a great book for somebody who is brand new to the fantasy genre, because it has a lot of tropes and it's not too hard to wrap your head around, and it could just be a good kind of like way to dip your toe into the genre. This is about a girl named Mare who lives in a society where people with red blood are kind of like lower class and people with silver blood are upper class and have powers and stuff. But Mare is special because she is red-blooded, but she has powers. But honestly, that's kind of all I remember about this book, other than the fact that it was just full of tropes and things that I read before. Like, she has to hide the fact that she's special and different. I think that there's like a power competition, there's a corrupt ruler, there's an uprising, that kind of stuff. It just felt very like bleh when I was reading it, but to somebody who is new to the genre, you might like it, but it just honestly was not worth the hype to me. This next book is like the one that I feel the most strongly it was not worth the hype. And that is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. When I first started watching BookTube, this book was everywhere. It was on everybody's list for books to read to get into reading. It was on everybody's list of favorite contemporary books, or on their list of top swoon-worthy romances in a book. It's about a girl named Anna who goes to study abroad in Paris. She ends up meeting this guy there named Etienne St. Clair, and things just get stupid. Etienne is in a relationship, and Anna is like really falling for him and gets crazy jealous and just acts dumb and immature about everything. Super, super annoying. There's cheating in here. Like, it may not be like physical cheating. Actually, I don't actually remember if they physically cheat in this book, but like there's definitely emotional cheating there. I just don't really like reading about that. I just thought Anna's character was super annoying and immature, and she would mess up her friendships to be with Etienne. And then Etienne's doing stuff to like lead Anna on when he has a girlfriend. I just didn't like this book. This last one might actually get me into some trouble. It is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Now, I was super excited for this book to come out because everybody, I think it was like everybody's like BEA hauls and vlogs and stuff, they were getting the arc of this, and it was beautiful, and everybody was talking about how it was like one of the most anticipated books coming out, and so I was so excited about it because I love the Lunar Chronicles. It's one of my favorite series. This is a Queen of Hearts origin story. Marissa Meyer is really good at doing like the fairy tale retelling, so I was like, this is right up her alley, it's gonna be awesome. But it just was not my favorite. I think a lot of it had to do with that I really disliked the audiobook. I did not like the narrator for it. But I also, though, there were a lot of things plot-wise and character-wise that I just did not like very much. The main character, Catherine, I did not like her character. She was very immature. There were so many annoying people in this book that were like causing problems for her, but she didn't have any backbone. Like, she never stood up for herself, and she never confronted those people to try to deal with the problems until the very end, when she was like turning into the evil queen and was like off with some bitches' heads, and I was finally like, yes, like go fucking kill some people, like deal with your problems. I don't know why it took you the whole entire book to get there. It just drove me insane. The other thing is too, you know at the end she's gonna be the evil queen because it's the Queen of Hearts retelling, and so there wasn't really any mystery as to like how it was gonna end. It honestly just was a little bit too close to what I pictured the Queen of Hearts story to be like. I kind of thought Marissa Meyer would take it on this crazy spin like she did with the Lunar Chronicles, because even though those are fairy tale retellings, there's the basic backbone there, so you know it's a retelling, but it's really different. Like, you don't expect the things that happen in that series to happen. In this, it just felt very predictable and just kind of like a basic origin story kind of a thing. And also, like, the love interest in this, which is kind of what makes her turn into the Queen of Hearts, it didn't click with me, and I think that was kind of an important thing to make this like a story that people could connect to and kind of be behind and understand why she became the Queen of Hearts, and I just didn't really get that. What she wants in the beginning of this book is to open up a bakery, and I honestly just wanted to have a story about Catherine opening up a bakery with her friend. That's kind of like, as the story went on, I was like, can they just go back to baking stuff? I don't know, I guess this book just wasn't what I wanted. I totally get why a lot of people like it, but it just was not worth the hype to me. I feel like I said the same thing about a lot of these books, just like that the people were annoying and immature, but that's kind of a thing I guess that bugs me in books. But those are some of the books that I think are not really worth the hype. I'm definitely not saying don't read them. Like, if they sound good to you and you want to read them, totally do it. If they're one of your favorite books, I'm jealous of you. I wish that I really liked these books. I thought I was going to. Let me know down below what some of the books that you think are overhyped are, or if you liked any of these books. I'd love to hear if maybe some of these are some of your favorites. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Josh and I are planning to go see Baby Driver tonight, and I'm really, really excited because I've heard really good stuff about it. Paper Towns is about this guy who... Koa, no, shh, be quiet.